Thank you, and of course, wonderful intro. Thank you very much for reminding me of all the things that I've won. Yes, it's great to know that and great to hear that. But here, I'm not talking about myself, fortunately. I'm talking about Wings for Life, the World Run, and about our foundation, the Wings for Life Foundation, because without the foundation, we wouldn't have to innovate, reinvent it, the world of running. It's as simple as that. So, let's flip back 1 second. There you go. All right. Me. In my handsome days, obviously. Now, my job as the International Director of Sport is to, well, one of them, I guess, is to be up here and explain to you a little bit what Wings for Life is all about. But also is to oversee the actual running events. So I look after 34 global events that take place exactly the same time. They stretch from here in Mexico down to Australia, into the Middle East, into the Far East, United States, and of course in Europe. And as I say, as the director of it, I make all the good, the nice, the fun decisions of the World Run, but also I've got to take the responsibility when I think people are not doing a good job to disqualify them. So, what we're all about? Well, as I said, we're all about spinal cord injury research. That's what the foundation is all about. And you may be wondering, well, why do you need a foundation for spinal cord injury research? Is there not enough money that goes into it? Explain a little bit more. Well, hopefully I'll be able to do that for you. The foundation itself was set up courtesy of this young man, Hannes Kindergartner. Now, he was a motor racer himself. And at the age of 19, his father, who's pushing him in the chair there, back in Europe is a well-known driver. And he actually was away in Germany. Hannes is Austrian. He was away in Germany designing a new track. And now his family had to be represented at this particular rallycross event. So Heinz Kindergartner, who was pushing the chair, phoned his son and said to his son, "Would you represent our family? And would you race at this particular race on this day?" And of course, Hannes, as you would do as a 19-year-old boy, said, "Yes, I will do that for you, Dad." But unfortunately, going into the very first corner, an accident happened and put this young man in a chair. Devastating news both for him and, of course, his father, who feels that he was responsible of putting his son in that position. But because he was stuck in Germany, he couldn't get back to his son. And so he asked, actually, a good friend of his, Dietrich Maschler, who's the owner of Red Bull, if he could go to the hospital and look after his son, which he did. Obviously, Didi went. And they were wondering what they could do to help, if there was anything that was going to happen, that was going to help spinal cord injury research. But they wanted to see the son walk again. And the scientists and doctors who were there at that particular time said, yes, we can do something, but we need funding. We need money. And that is the only thing that will make a real difference. If we can get the best scientists in the world to work on spinal cord injury research, we can truly make people walk again in collaboration and in time. Money will buy us time. Hence, the Wings for Life Foundation was formed, because everybody involved really does believe that we will be able to make a difference to spinal cord injuries when these accidents happen. Now, sometimes people may be thinking, well, they won't happen to me because I don't do any extreme sports. You may be surprised to hear that majority of spinal cord injuries happen in the home. They happen in car accidents, things that we do in this room every single day. Every single day. I myself have tried to change a light bulb, and the stool I was standing on was a little bit too short. Pretty sure some of us has done that. One mistake, and we could fall, and we could end up in a chair. Nothing extreme about that. We were only changing a light bulb. But just to prove to you what we've been doing in the time, and working with collaboration with some other organizations, especially the Christopher Reeves. Can you remember Christopher Reeves? He was Superman who fell off a horse riding, damaged his back, put himself in a chair, and then died of complications of his spinal cord injury. Well, with his foundation and ours, Wings for Life, we've made really huge steps forwards, and we've been able to give hope to people in chairs of what the future may hold for them. So let's have a look at this video.
Before I had the surgery, I had no motor activity below my injury at all.
Okay, yeah, let's go up.
My experience here has been life-changing. I first stood on day 3 of turning the stimulator on.
Being able to stand, it makes me feel normal again.
Just the connection, like go down through my leg and my leg just pulled up. It was overwhelming.
So I've gotten a lot of function back, including my hands. I've gotten back the ability to stand, move my toes, ankles, knees, hips, all on command.
We place an epidural stimulator in the lower spinal cord. And when we stimulate, we're able to activate the neural networks of the spinal cord so we can use it to get people to move who are completely paralyzed and when the stimulator is off, aren't able to move.
The big idea is a unique example of a study based on solid science, culminating over the last 30 years into a front-runner study.
We saw this in 4 individuals, the first 4, and so our next step is to go to a larger cohort of patients to see how generalizable these findings are in people with spinal cord injury.
It worked, and it was nuts.
The Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation and Wings for Life, we share a lot of the same researchers, we certainly share the same mission, and we believe that together we can help mobilize people to support this research and get us there quicker.
The Wings for Life Foundation and the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation joining forces is incredible, and it's going to move this forward at a much faster pace.
Funds from the Wings for Life Road Run will basically enable to go to the next phase of this clinical trial.
The next steps are to implant a larger cohort of people, and we look forward to that happening in 2015.
This is going to help the millions of others in the world with paralysis and spinal cord injuries.
Something like this can change the world.
So you can clearly see that the money that we're gaining from the Wings for Life World Run is going to an excellent cause. You can see how it's changing people's lives already to this day. And hence, that's why we're very pleased to say that every single penny that we raise from the Wings for Life World Run goes directly, 100% of it, goes directly to spinal cord injury research. None of our administration costs, none of our staffing costs are paid out of the contributions that people have given us. We're very fortunate that Red Bull look after us in that particular way. So let's talk about what our fun run is all about. Well, it's a run that takes place across the globe exactly the same time. It will be on May the 8th this year, and it's at 11 o'clock UTC, which here in Mexico, which will be 6 a.m. in the morning. Seems very early, but you could be in Australia and it'll be very late at night. But we run exactly the same time. So in Europe, in Britain, for example, it'll be 12 o'clock. In France, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But 11 o'clock UTC is the start time. And it is a global race. So we'll have people from all over the world. Because remember, spinal cord injury doesn't particularly happen in one country alone. It's a worldwide problem. That's why we need a worldwide cure. And the race format is pretty, I say, straightforward. You run, right? That makes it pretty easy to say. You run. But the way that we actually do it is very different. So we have a start line, but no finish line. It's as simple as that. Okay, what do you mean, Colin? All right, here, I'll explain a little bit more. You start off your race, and 30 minutes after you start, we send a catcher car, which technically is your finish-in line. And as the catcher car approaches you and goes past you, then it's the end of your race. So that's how the format itself works. Now, the car starts at 15 kilometers an hour, and each hour it increases just by 1. So hour 2, it's 16, hour 3, it's 17, until we've caught every single person. Our winner, and so far the most has been done. It's been about 79 kilometers, which is a lot of running, you can say that. But because we're totally inclusive, we want people to come in chairs and participate, people on crutches and participate. And of course, we're not expecting them to do that type of distance. They're covering perhaps 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer. But the fact they're there and being part of this big global occasion is what's important to us. So, we've been going 2 years. There's some stats and figures up there for you to see. The very first year, as you can imagine, when we told people about what the event was, it was quite confusing for them. They didn't quite understand or know what it was. And I think that was really clearly reflected in the amount of people who joined in. 1 year later, when people got it and understood the concept, we had over double the amount of people that turned up. Fundraising, 3 million, 4.2 in year 2. And look at all those media contacts, eh? What a difference that has made for us, because it's getting our message across, what Wings for Life World Run is about and for whom we're actually doing this run for. Well, I'm going to give you another little taste of what it is, so you can kind of understand more about the event and see it in a practical way. So have a look at this video. Sign up now. Get your applications in. Doesn't cost much, 400 pesetas if you get it in today. Alrighty. Well, that's a rough idea exactly what the Wings for Life World Run is all about. So you can see that it's very much something that we think we bring the world together really properly. And when you watch it on the screen, which as the boss, I kind of have to watch it on the screen. Unfortunately, I can't run. It's brilliant to see the faces, the expressions, and the pleasure people get out of participating in an event like that. But when you're doing a massive global event, there are kind of tricky things, as you can imagine, and marketing it globally is pretty difficult for us because we've got to get the same message across the globe, but also touch on a very local level. So me sitting in headquarters in Austria, I cannot really tell people in Mexico how to engage with the Mexican population. But what I can do is give an oversight of what we want to achieve. And as long as the organizing committees on the ground will really fit that initial picture for us, we're happy for them to go off and deliver what they consider to be an accurate Wings for Life event in their own country. Now, who we are and who the runners are. Well, the runners for us are the most important people because they're our ears, they're our eyes. They tell us about how things are going, what we need to do to improve their performance and their overall experience. Because ultimately, the runners are also the people who are the donators. Their start fees, the more people we engage to start and sign up, will be the people that will donate the money to our good cause and the foundation. And it's funny because they've asked me on numerous occasions in the office to get the Wings for Life here, and I've resisted on many occasions. Luckily, that gentleman's done it for me. Trying to be creative, of course, in this situation. We've got to do something that's a little bit different, haven't we? We don't want to be a normal marathon or another 10K run. And initially, that's why we brought on board the catcher cars, giving people another jeopardy, another challenge for them, so that they can try running in a different way. But also, it allows people who have never run before to have a go at something, because it's easy. You don't have to run half a marathon. We can be happy if you did 2 kilometers. As long as you're happy and you feel comfortable, just come out there and be very much part of the whole thing. Now for us, this is what HQ looks like. We have all those screens. All of us are looking at those screens to make sure things go off well. But finding that clear message that we can use as our strapline globally was a real challenge. And in the end, we went for run for those who can't. That's why you're on there. Take running as a luxury and run for those who can't. And I think if we can sell that globally, we're doing a really good job in HQ. And of course, I've said it on many occasions, what is our aims and our objectives? Well, clearly, it's to find a cure for spinal cord injury. We want to see Hannes walk again, and many others. And with the help of the runners and the participants, we can certainly do that. That is our clear aim, that is our clear objective. And together we truly believe we can do it with help of everybody. Ambassadors locally, ambassadors internationally, to go out there, give our message, and change the lives of people. That is the date for the event, May the 8th, 2016. That is our website. Get online, get involved. And to give you a little bit more of exactly what's happening here in Mexico, one of your local ambassadors can give you a little bit more information. Patrick.
Bueno, yo les voy a platicar un poco sobre la carrera aquí en México. Va a ser en Zapopan, Jalisco, como dijo Colin, el 8 de mayo a las 6 de la mañana. Bueno, algo muy importante es también la ruta. Como saben que esta carrera no tiene una meta, sino la meta te alcanza a ti, va a ser saliendo de Plaza Andares a las 6 de la mañana, rumbo al Bosque de la Primavera, y va a ser rodeando el Bosque de la Primavera. Por lo mismo de que no hay meta, cada X kilómetros, aproximadamente cada 5 kilómetros, va a haber unas paradas de autobús donde el autobús va a llegar. Tú te subes, te subes al autobús y te regresa al punto de partida. Bueno, también una cosa muy importante es que esta carrera no importa la condición física que tengas, el chiste es participar, ayudar y divertirte. Yo le he corrido 2 veces, ha sido la carrera más divertida que he hecho, y aparte también la meta que me he puesto siempre la he roto. Yo nunca había corrido más de 21 kilómetros. Mi mejor 21 kilómetros era 1 hora 40. En esta carrera yo corrí en 1 hora 39 y aparte terminé corriendo 26 kilómetros hasta que me alcanzó el catcher. Entonces, si eres corredor, es una muy buena opción, una buena oportunidad para ponerte una meta y poderla romper. Y si no eres corredor, pues bueno, es una oportunidad para divertirte y aparte para poder también ayudar. El 100% de la inscripción se va a ir a la investigación de lesiones de médula espinal. y aparte también podemos aprovechar que aquí en México es el único país donde es más barata la inscripción. Ahorita hasta el 1 de abril va a estar en 400 pesos y después de eso hasta el 7 de mayo va a estar en 500 pesos. Los invito a que se inscriban en la página que es www.wingsforlifeworldrun.com, o también aquí afuera hay un módulo donde lo pueden hacer. Si no pueden correr ese día, algo que también podrían hacer, también pueden donar en la misma página, pero ojalá y pudieran correr y pudieran aprovechar esta gran oportunidad de divertirse, hacer ejercicio y ayudar en un mismo evento. Muchas gracias.